Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us today, and thanks to Nathan Lyon for coming and spending a bit of time with you guys ahead of the first Brisbane Test in about 13 days' time, I believe. As always, guys, keep your cameras and microphones off. Microphones on if and when I come to you for a question. Raise your hand if you have a question, and we'll try to get through everyone as quickly as we can. So we'll get underway. If we could start with 7 News Sydney, and I believe that's Andrew McKinlay.
Yeah, thanks, Cole. G'day, Nathan.
Hey, mate.
A couple of weeks ago, you expressed a desire to England to bring out their strongest possible team when there was doubts about Ben Stokes coming. Is Tim Payne part of Australia's strongest possible Test team?
In my eyes, yes. In my eyes, Tim's the best gloveman in the country. So, in the world, in my eyes. So, yes, to answer your question.
Should he have resigned as captain?
Look, I think Tim's made a mistake. He's owned it, and for me, that shows great courage. To be honest with you, so Tim's got my full support. So yeah, I'm looking forward to catching up as soon as we get out of quarantine up here.
And just one last one from me. It looks like it'll be Cummins and Smith as captain and vice captain. At the risk of sort of making it a blue baggers mafia, do you agree with that sort of leadership team, that duo leading Australia in the series?
I think you look at the two guys who have been interviewed by Cricket Australia for the two roles. I think they're probably the best candidates in my eyes. I think playing under Pat at New South Wales Cricket in the one day setup, I think it was last year, Cole?
Last year.
Yeah, last year. I think I think he did a really good job, to be honest with you. I know it's going to be a different kettle of fish, but he's got a lot of senior players around him to support Pat if he does get the nod. But then you look at Steve Smith. I think Smithy's up there with the best batter in the world. He's got a great cricket mind, and I've got no dramas with both of them being putting their hand up for captaincy, to be honest with you.
Thanks, Nathan.
Louis Cameron.
Hey, Nath, could you just tell us about the general preparations up there? Has it been affected by the weather much, mate?
Yeah, it's meant to be the Sunshine State, but it's not showing that at the moment. We got pretty lucky yesterday, but to be honest, the facilities here on the Gold Coast has been remarkable. So we're very lucky, and we're extremely grateful for the Queensland government and everyone else involved. So our preparation has been really good. Obviously, off the back of the World Cup win and all the guys coming into the quarantine here, the feeling amongst the group has been exceptional, and something that the players who weren't part of the World Cup, who joined quarantine is thoroughly enjoyed. So our preparation is flying along. It's been some great centre wicket and net scenario. So yeah, feeling very good.
And would you feel that same way? I mean, if the intra squad that you've got next week, if that was to get washed out, how would you feel about going into the first test with potentially no kind of match practice?
Well, for me personally, I'm ready to go. I've had 2 Shield games. The intensity of training here is in quarantine has been exceptional, to be honest. So I wouldn't be concerned if the weather plays a role in our lead up. I think a big focus for us in this quarantine is when we're training that we're going close to 100%, and there's been some really good competition out in the middle and throughout the net sessions as well. So as I said, we're very lucky, and we're feeling extremely confident going into a pretty amazing summer.
Luke Dufficy.
Thanks, Cole. Nathan, all the chat's been about Pat and Steve, but you're the most experienced player in the team. Would you ever like to be considered for a role like that?
To be honest with you, mate, if I'd put my hand up for captaincy, I would have to hand over the team song. And to be honest, I'd rather lead the team song. So I'm more than happy for Pat and Steve and anyone else to put their hand up. I'll keep my hand down.
Fair enough. Also for you, 400 wickets, you're only 1 away. Just has that been in your thought process at all? And just how much would it mean to get there?
Oh, obviously, it's been on my mind for a fair amount of time now since the last test against India. But to be honest, I'm more worried about the whole Test series and just making sure that I can play my role within the Australian cricket team and making sure that we win and retain these Ashes. So it's amazing summer. There's some milestones for some people around the corner, but it's more about the team success for me.
Rob Forsyth.
G'day, Nathan. You mentioned a bit earlier you're keen to see Tim playing at the Gabba. It seems like all the players are of the same view. Do you have a clear idea of what needs to happen for that to happen? I mean, George said last week the 11's pretty settled and he's keen to sort of lock it in early. Are you expecting it's a pretty simple case that, Tim will just be picked?
In my eyes, yeah. We've always said that. I think the selectors said that we were going to pick the best available 11, and in my eyes, Tim Payne's the best keeper in the world. So, and I know I want him. This is very selfish from a bowler's point of view. I want the best clubman behind the stumps, and in my eyes, that's Tim Payne.
And you touched on it a bit there, but yeah, that combination that you built, you feel like that's sort of, going to be very helpful for your bowling and your sort of success this summer?
I think every bowler's relationship with the keeper is exceptional, and I think Tim Payne is a very lovable guy and well respected guy within the Australian change room. So I think every bowler, I'm pretty sure I'm speaking on behalf of every bowler, that we want the best keeper. And as I keep saying, I can't say it any more times, Tim is the best keeper in the world.
And just a final one quickly, there's obviously a hell of a lot of rain in coming weeks. Are you expecting this Gabba pitch to be even more lively than normal and certainly like a little bit different to what you had against India at the start of the year?
Well, hoping it's a little bit different than what we had against India, if I'm being brutally honest. But I'm expecting it to be pretty similar to what we've come accustomed to over the last few years, I guess. I think there'll be a great challenge and hopefully a really good contest between bat and ball. So, but saying that, there's 13 days out, I think it is. So no doubt the curators up there will be working hard and the ground will be in good nick and hopefully an absolute cracking cricket wicket.
Thanks, mate.
Russell Gould.
G'day, Nathan. You mentioned just a couple of seconds ago there that you enjoy leading the team song a lot. I'm just wondering, given the tumult around the team, do you feel any need to get around the boys to really rally them at the moment, given everything that's going on? And I know you're not all together as a group yet, but is that the job of you or anyone else, or is there any need for that, or is the mood all right?
Mate, the mood's incredible, to be honest. Off the back of the boys winning the World Cup, it's been absolutely incredible feeling coming on. I know there's only around about, off the top of my head, about 7 to 8, maybe 9 guys here who were part of that World Cup, but also with the staff. There's an unbelievable feeling within the Australian cricket room at the moment. And when the squad gets together, no doubt we'll sit around and we'll have a beer when everyone gets together and catch up again. But I think the mood within the Australian cricket team, it's really exciting. And why wouldn't you be when you got the Ashes just around the corner at home? So it's going to be an amazing summer, and yeah, it's pretty exciting group, to be honest.
And just secondly, it's a rare situation where you haven't played a test match for nearly a year and coming off a losing series. I'm just wondering, has that been stewing with you for a while to really sort of make amends for what happened last time, not just personally, but for the team?
Well, you look at the time that we've had off due to COVID and the test schedule, it's really given myself a really good chance to reflect and reset some goals and understand where I'm at and where I can get to in my own eyes. So I've had a lot of time to think about it. I'm excited about the challenges that lay ahead, but then also I've had a lot of time to work on a few things that I've wanted to work on. So I'm extremely confident with where my skills are at the moment, and I can't wait to get out there and express those skills on the big stage.
Good on you. Thanks, Nathan.
Jeff Smith.
G'day, Nathan. Mate, you must watch these wicket keepers closer than sort of many people out there. Can you sort of tell us what it is that makes Tim Payne the best wicket keeper in the world? Why is he so much better than everyone else?
Well, everyone will say look at the movement around his movement around catching the ball and etc. But I go off the sound of the gloves. when the ball actually when he actually catches the ball. I think if you look at the best keepers in the world and you actually listen to the sound of the ball that goes in the gloves, that's when you can tell that someone's a decent keeper. And I noticed that with Brad Haddon when I bowled to him a lot. But Tim Payne, it's music to my ears. Put it that way.
Ripper, thanks, mate.
Raj.
Thanks, Cole. Hi, morning, Nathan. You just mentioned that you were going to back Tim Payne all the way. But we heard Ricky Ponting come out and say that he could be a distraction throughout the Ashes series. Do you agree that he could be a distraction?
No, not at all. I think, as I said, Tim made a mistake a few years ago, and he showed a lot of courage, and he's owned that mistake. And he's got my full support, and I'm 100% guarantee he's got the full support of the Australian change room. So I don't see it as a distraction at all. At the end of the day, we're professional athletes. We know what we got to do and how we got to go about it. So come the lead into the Gabba Test match and throughout the whole series, we're professional sports people, and we'll go out there and do our job.
Just also, if I could ask about carrying the momentum of winning the World Cup, T20 World Cup into this Ashes series. There's a bit of change of personnel, but the bowling group remains the same, and you come in now into the picture. How do you think you can carry that momentum from that win into this Ashes?
I think the confidence of the guys who performed extremely well at the World Cup it has already translated into our training here in quarantine. And you look at the bowling cartel at the moment and how well they performed, and over there it's going to translate into Test cricket. We know how good especially the three quicks are, but then you look at the guys, David Warner, who's batting extremely well, Steve Smith also. So there's a lot of confidence coming off the back of that World Cup win. So I'm expecting a lot of good things to come this summer.
Thanks, mate.
Andrew Wu.
G'day, Nathan. Wanted to ask you about sort of the vice captaincy scenario and how you've played a lot of cricket. How do you envisage sort of that setup of Steve and Pat working, where I suppose the vice captain can be captain at any one time, and I suppose with a fast bowler being captain, sort of how does that kind of sort of affect the way that Steve would captain the side?
I don't think it will affect. I think it will have a really positive effect, if anyway. If you look at the guys that are going to be captain and vice captain, and whichever way that goes, I think that both of them are extremely well respected within Australian cricket and world cricket as well. So I think it's going to be a real beneficial that you got a bowler's mindset, also a batter's mindset. Rather than having two batters' mindsets, you actually got both mindsets that can come together and really come up with some really good guidance, I guess. So I'm really excited by the fact that we're potentially going to have a bowler as a captain, but saying that we're also got one of the best batters and one of the best players to play the game in Smithy there as well. So I think there's going to be some really good open and honest conversations throughout those two guys, and there's going to be some really good guidance. We've got some really senior players throughout our squad with some younger players there as well. So I think Cricket Australia is going to be in some good hands.
And with Pat being the skipper, coming from that fast bowler mindset, I mean, do you need to sort of have a chat to him about how sort of get that spin bowler's mindset into the fast bowler's mind?
No, I think Pat, and obviously I get along with Pat really well. We've been playing so much cricket for a long period of time. We understand each other's game extremely well, and no doubt there will be conversations about spin bowling. But I know talking to Pat already at training here, he's pretty keen to get me the ball as soon as I can. So I'm looking forward to that playing under. If Pat does get the nod, I think he'll do a tremendous job.
Thanks, Nathan.
Mel Farrell.
Thanks. Hi, Nathan. You spoke about the 400th wicket. Now you've thought about that a bit. Is it something, that kind of milestone, that can actually get inside your head a bit much? Did that happen last year? And have you thought about, not letting it become a thing in the...
No, I don't think it got inside my head. I think I'm aware of it. and I think you'd be crazy if you weren't aware of it. But I think it's something that I know what I need to do, and if I keep on my best ball and challenge the English defence, and hopefully I'll create a chance and it can be taken, then we can move on nice and early in the series. But I don't think it got in my head. I think, as I said, I'm aware of it, and it's a pretty exciting milestone just around the corner.
You said you've set yourself some goals. Any sort of particular ones that you could share? I shared a couple the other day in an interview. I think a couple of the big ones would be more team orientated. Would be winning a Test series in India, but also winning a Test series in England outright. So they're probably my two biggest goals that I will share with you. So it's exciting, and yeah, they're the goals on the radar, I guess. And just finally, from me, you talked about the mood being so good at the moment post World Cup. Is it different to the mood that there was sort of last summer? And if so, how? Oh, well, it obviously is different. The boys keep walking around with Mitch Marsh hasn't taken his World Cup medal off yet, and he starts calling himself the Norm Smith. So I don't really, I understand that. So it's a lot different at the moment, but I think it's going to be pretty similar. It's going to be a pretty similar group throughout the whole summer compared to last summer. So I think it's going to be a very exciting summer, and we're all very, very close mates, and we all want to see each other do really well. So I think it's it's pretty exciting, to be honest. Thanks.
A couple more here, folks. Louis Cameron.
Nath, just you mentioned the sound of the ball that the makes on Tim Paine's gloves, and that being important. I guess Tim's made no secret that this Ashes might be his kind of last Test campaign. Who's the one who's making the best sound off the gloves? If you're thinking about his successor, mate.
Well, I think it's pretty obvious. I think there's three guys in my eyes who are competing for the one spot. The three guys would be Josh Inglis, Jimmy Peirson, and Alex Carey. So I haven't seen a great deal of. I haven't bowled much to Josh Inglis or Jimmy Peirson. So I'd like that opportunity. So it's out of those three, I guess. And when I hear the sound, I'll let you know.
Henry Moran.
Hi, Nathan. 4 years ago, the build-up to the Ashes was quite fiery. There seemed to be quite a lot being said from both sides. How different is this Australian team from the one in 2017, do you think?
Oh, how different? That's a good question. I think we're... I think it's pretty similar, to be honest with you. I think we understand our role and where we... what and the way we have to go about our cricket here in Australia. So we're looking forward to that challenge. You're looking at the England side; they're obviously full of some superstars there. Joe Root's obviously the best batter in the world at the current stage. So we're going to have our plans as bowlers up to scratch. But I think we're pretty similar, to be honest with you. It's going to be a good challenge, and I'm looking forward to it.
And finally, from me, the bookies say Australia are favourites. Do you agree?
Yes, I do think Australia's going to win the Ashes. If I didn't think that, I probably shouldn't be sitting here.
Thanks a lot.
Last one, guys. Alex Malcolm.
Just two quick ones, Nathan. I know it's been a fortnight. How did it come out? How did the ball come out for you in Drummoyne and the MCG? And is there anything you reflected on and you're going to work on over the next couple of weeks?
Yeah, I was pretty happy with the ball coming out. One thing I've noticed bowling here in the quarantine is the presence of the big boys in bowling in partnerships. We had a centre wicket there, and I was bowling in partnerships with Pat, Josh, and Mitch, and you could feel the pressure, the intense change a little bit around batters trying to face you. So I think that's probably going to be a big difference, having the presence of and the quality of bowlers at the other end. So I'm pretty excited by the way the ball's coming out of my hand, to be honest with you. I've had some really good sessions up here and throughout the whole preseason. So getting some good feedback from Steve Smith. So yeah, I'm pretty excited.
Watching from the out, it looked like you bowled pretty well without luck at the MCG. What did you think of that track, actually? There was a lot of good feedback about the wicket at the MCG. What did you think of it?
I actually thought the MCG wicket was pretty good, actually. There was a lot more contest between bat and ball it offered some spin early, but if you're good enough with the ball, the bowler's got the ball to seam around a little bit. So I think it was a pretty good template for the Test match. Hopefully.
Thanks, Nathan.
Thanks, Alex, and thanks, Nathan Lyon, for joining us all this morning. We'll catch up with all you guys another time. Thank you.
Thanks, Cole. Thanks, Nathan.
Thanks, Cole. Thanks,
Thanks,
Nathan.
Cole.